Grandpa if they would share about how they became Christians, because I know that when we went up for the, was it the Distinguished Service Award they gave you guys? That Levi was probably old enough to remember that. Eli may, but I knew that Cassie probably didn't, because we've gone through this thing this whole year of, you've been here. No, I haven't. You've been here. I don't remember it. And or we've done things with Levi and Eli were old enough to remember, but she doesn't have a clue about them. And it just is, it, for some reason the past year has been one thing after another of that. So I thought that since you guys were here for Christmas and we were having a different Christmas, that if you guys would share like you did that day, and you kind of told about
I don't even remember what we told it.
well, you told about how you became Christians, what happened in your life a little bit before that, because when you guys got married you weren't Christians. And I know though that church was a part of your life somewhat when you were little. And so you just kind of told a little bit about your life before and then what happened. And
well, I had a revival in church is what started us out, I think, on that. Maybe she would probably start out telling us about that, maybe.
Well, my grandmother was a Christian lady, and we lived within sight of it was Christian Holiness Church. We lived within sight of that, and I was made go to church. I don't know exactly made, I went, I know, but I do remember one time I played sick, and my grandmother made me stay in bed, and I thought that was awful. And I thought, well, I'll just go to church the next time so I won't have to stay in bed. And I grew up that way, and some of that my kids don't even know, because I don't remember ever even telling them. I used to clean the church when I was in high school. And down in Kentucky, whenever there was a funeral, you had to toll the bell, which was, it made it ring how old that person was when they died. And I remember I used to do that when I had to open up the church for a funeral or anything like that and have it open, and I had, early in the morning, I had to go and toll a bell for the person that had died. And of course, the pastor of the church just lived across the road from us most of the time. And I grew up, and he took us to all kinds of different things when I was growing up that the church had and other churches, because otherwise there wasn't any transportation up in there very much. And then when I came to Maysville, I went to church to a Baptist church with a friend of mine, and Garland and I got to know each other, and we was going to church one evening, and we took him with us, and he, I hate to say it, but he was so drunk he couldn't hardly walk. So, but after that, I don't remember us going to church anymore after that till then when we, the superintendent of the Nazarene Church, the Sunday school superintendent of the Nazarene Church, I knew back when I was growing up. He went with a girl in the community where I lived. He knew that I went to church all the time, and so we run into him down in downtown Maysville one Saturday, and he wanted us to come to church. He said he was a Sunday school superintendent, and so we said, well, we could probably come sometime. And I don't think we ever went until after Steve was born, and when Steve was a baby, there was a revival, and they came over and asked us to go again, and then we went to the Nazarene Church that time, but we didn't go back anymore until well, his brother come and went to work at the same place Garland did.
Well, they got saved in the revival.
And they started going over to the Nazarene Church. Irma and them knew, I think she was raised up in Christian Holiness too, but then her parents were Christian, and so they went to the revival that was at the Nazarene Church, and they got saved. they came back and started telling about it. And I got under conviction and I got saved at home. Then Garland,
Wait a minute, you gotta tell about that.
huh?
You gotta tell about that part. When you got saved at home, because you told about it at the.
Yeah, I got saved at home. I got saved in the bathroom and came back and told Garland that I had gotten saved. And then but I thought the next morning when I got up, I decided it wasn't so. So I went down to a neighbor's house and she went to the Nazarene church sometimes. And I told her, no, I went over to Irma's, my sister-in-law's. And I told her that I thought I'd got saved, but I didn't believe I had. And she said, well, now that's just the Lord giving you doubts.
Devil.
Yeah, well, the devil.
There's some
Making
water.
me
if you
have
need a
doubts
drink.
about it. And so then later I thought, I went back home. Steve and Larry was little boys. Brian wasn't born yet. And I went down, I decided, I thought, well, if I got saved, I'll go down and tell Dude. And I went down to Dude's house and I told her, and then I began to feel better about it. Well, Irma went to the preacher's house and told him, and they showed up at our house that evening. And then they wanted us to go to church then on Wednesday night,
Well,
so.
they got down and prayed with us there, and I didn't feel anything, I didn't think I'd done anything, you know, when we got through. But on Wednesday night then, we went to church, and he come back in Wednesday night and wanted to know if I wanted to go to the altar to pray, and I said, yeah, I got saved then on Wednesday night, the altar then. You want to go ahead.
Then we just started going to church all the time.
And about 2 weeks, probably, wasn't 2 weeks probably after I got saved, they had, the young people had their program right in the whole auditorium. Anybody wanted to come early enough to be there when it's going on, but they come. So young people president asked me to, on Sunday morning, he said, pick out a scripture and speak 5 minutes on it tonight. And I didn't have any more sense than trying. So I did. I got a scripture and got some thinking on it. And I got up there that evening, and here was a guy sitting out here, been a Christian for 40 years. The old devil said, what are you doing up here? I said, there's a guy out there who knows a lot more about being a Christian than you do. What are you doing up there? The boy just come right back to me. They didn't ask him to be up here. He asked me to be up here, and I'm going to say what I want to. And I just went in. Ever since then, I've been a blabbing in church. Said anything, you know, just going on and doing things. And that's kind of the way we got saved, got into the church. And by the way, one thing that she didn't tell about this neighbor she went down there to, we was down there on Saturday night, maybe Saturday night before that, I don't know, drinking beer and playing cards with him, and Steve crawled around on the floor and he got a can of beer and started to drink out of it. And I thought, this ain't any good. And he was about 2 years old then, probably.
No, they were
Crawling around anyhow. Well, he might have been 2.5 years old at that time. But he got a can of beer and was sucking around on it. And so I think that's probably what started us on account of the kids, more or less, to get right in the Lord and everything. Have the kids at church. And I'm proud that we did, and I'm happy that we did, because right now, all of our sons are in church, participating in the church. All our kids are participating in church. All the great-grandkids are going to church, been brought up into church. Just because, I think that's because we were faithful and turned our life over to the Lord and lived for them, and that followed right on down through. Well, we got one grandkid and great-grandkid, the possibility they're not in church, but that's the only one I know of that wouldn't be in church. But all the others, I might say that I'm very proud of my sons and their wives and their kids and their great-grandkids and all of them. I'm real happy with them and proud of them and appreciate all they meant to us. And I told someone the other day, I said, it was worth living as old as I am to be able to play with my great-grandkids. I played ball with my great-grandkids. And it's just tremendous to live long enough and be able to do that, you know, and see your family all at church and active and doing good. And all of them got homes and and I'm very proud of them. So, about it, I guess.
Well, thank you. I wanted them to hear, because, I mean, sometimes you don't